I knew Margaret Oechsner for 40 years, and 35 of those she granted me the privilege of calling her my friend. She asked me to use her first name, and as many of you know, that was very difficult to do. She gave me a choice of first names, Peg, Meg, and Margaret. And though I did call her Margaret, I really thought of her as Miss Oechsner. I think the reason why I could not in my head get over the fact that I had to call her Miss Oechsner was because at that time, when I first got my eyes opened to the world and the way in which language could shape it, thanks to her, she was Miss Oechsner, and nothing more than that kind of title Miss Oechsner would do. And so when I sat down to try to write about some of the many conversations we had over the years, what I found coming out under my pen as a poem was an incident that happened right at the very beginning in 11th grade when she first introduced Thomas Hardy's Return of the Native to her fledgling AP English class. Elegy for Miss O. In Memoriam Margaret Oechsner, 1911 to 2011. She's a battle axe. She gives automatic Fs. Out from the ever-churning high school gossip mill tumble the warnings. No blotches allowed on final essays and no talking at all. Not one of us knew what a battle axe was. I misheard and kept imagining a battleship, long and vast and gray, trolling the horizon. No wonder we were trembling as we filed into our rows and found our places, where each desk bore a rust-red chunk of text, the return of the native. Before we could gulp, she had opened her book and recited, "A face on which time makes but little impression." Read it again, waited, listening, making us hear the light dance of the words like a stone skipping across endless blue waves. We were certain we'd never walk Hardy's Egdon Heath, and no kind of native we'd heard tell of ever came back to our pale brick universe, 3 floors for brooding between locker and chalkboard. But we weren't advanced placement English for nothing, for naught, Thomas Hardy would have said. We memorized the 10 grammatical sins for which there was no forgiveness, and to this day I have never erred. And though it took years for me to make it to Hardy's blasted heath and breathe its peaty infusions, the dimmed, desperate yearning of that relentless expanse, that first morning, as her blue gaze slowly lifted to take stock of her fledgling charges, I thought of Homer's bright-eyed Athena, putting courage into men's hearts. I thought, so this is what awe feels like, gleaming, ferocious, a radiant blade coming down hard like a blessing, splitting open these brave new souls.